Alrighty, we are recording. Welcome back to the Shonen Jump, or not the Shonen Jump anymore, the Jumpcast. I'm of course joined by my co-host Nick.
That's me.
And
I'm here.
and we have a very, very special guest this week. We have a friend of ours. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your experiments with. I don't. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, I guess I'm Max number 2, longtime friend of these two boyos. Also, pretty big weeb. I guess if I would have to name my favorite anime of all time, it would probably have to be Chainsaw Man, just because I love the manga so much, and now that it's being animated by proxy, I have to love it. So,
Okay.
As you can tell this week, it's kind of low energy. I don't know.
We're both
At least
a
what
little
is
tired.
it? We've all had a long day.
mhm.
But yeah. Uh, should we just jump right into it, or what is it? Wait, I want to ask you a few more questions, Max, too, as I'm gonna be going for today.
Yeah. Sure.
Why do you like Chainsaw Man? And like, what initially got you into like manga and or anime? It could
Okay.
be both or either.
Yeah. So, I guess my start when it comes to enjoying the medium of Japanese animation was through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In high school, I got introduced to it by another friend of mine, and then of course you two also liked it, and then it kind of spiraled from there. I became sort of obsessed with the show. Um, but that's really how I started getting into more, I guess shonen and seinen stuff, and especially manga. But when I was younger in like middle school, I would watch some I can't remember what they were called, but they're like those really honestly pretty screwed up horror anime that are just really really, yeah, I don't know how to describe them. I can't even remember the names of them, but they're like one of them was a bunch of high schoolers get trapped inside of their high school because it turns into a different dimensional plane. I know it also got adapted into a video game, but yeah.
Interesting.
I-
I've never heard of this
Yeah.
before.
I think he actually, hold on. It's called, no. Okay, I found it. It's called Corpse Party.
Oh, that sounds very familiar.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've heard of that one.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, it's screwy, and I just got really into it because I was into the horror, like creepypasta stuff, SCP Foundation, that kind of stuff. So,
Cool.
but sorry, the reason why I love Chainsaw Man so much, is I guess because the story in a lot of ways, at least initially when Fujimoto's introducing Denji, he's just such a like he's such a stupid character. His motivations are stupid. He's such a simplistic character, but they have such an impact on the audience, at least in my opinion, that it makes it so, regardless of what Denji's doing, it's engaging because it's almost like watching a conscious baby experience the world for the first time and process things. And I think that's why I love it so much.
I thought you were gonna say he's just like me. For a second, I'm like,
Well,
oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I could also say that. He's just like me, you know. I mean,
No,
I think he's a really good. Oh, sorry.
no, that's a really good thought on Chainsaw Man, dude. A conscious baby, dude. I never thought about it that way.
yeah, I mean, like he's experienced nothing except for working for a Yakuza boss for the majority of his life. And then he's just I mean, keep in mind the events of the first arc of the manga. It takes place over the course of maybe, I don't know, a month or two, something like that.
Mhm.
So it's just him unable to process things properly, seeing his friends die, getting essentially touched, you know, um, it's just I don't know. It's just so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what is it? Denji's a really good like character to establish like human desire. Like
Yeah.
his growth from like I just want to eat toast with jam on it to like I want all the women, everything.
hmm
It's just very interesting. I like that a
I
lot.
like that he's very different from like normal shonen protagonists, and I think that's why people, like him so much. He's a nice change of pace from be like, I'm gonna be the most powerful blah blah blah. I want to be a blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's a nice change.
It is.
Yeah.
So I think Nick, we forgot to say it, but just a little announcement thing. As you can see, me and Nick have what we call avatars for the podcast.
Yeah, what is
Avatar,
it?
yeah.
We currently have someone working on channel art. It's on the Twitter. If
Mhm.
you'd like to go follow that. What's the name of the Twitter again? It's like at the
At
Jumpcast.
the _Jumpcast, I think it'll be linked in
Yeah.
the description and everything. So
It's still work in progress, but we have at least our own models, our own avatars, as you would say, ready. We're just working on the last final touches of it. But yeah,
Mhm.
they're cool, dude. They're
They look
great.
fantastic.
I think I have like
I
new
know.
profile picture material for like everything, honestly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I need to change it on the Twitter as well. It will be changed by the time that this is uploaded.
yeah.
But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we
I think
jump into it?
Yeah. So we since we didn't talk about it last week, we had a gap week, and a big chapter of Chainsaw Man came out last week. We didn't talk about it, so we're gonna talk about it this week. Max, you want to start us off with your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Okay. So I was really excited for this specific chapter, actually, mostly because I don't know. I'm just really enjoying this second arc. I like that we didn't start off seeing Denji. I'm glad we're seeing a fresh perspective with everything. And I'm actually kind of liking how all the characters are being developed. It's very. The pacing, in my opinion, is really, really great. It's very different from the first arc, which I find interesting. And I think Fujimoto is just in my eyes proving that he knows how to play with character really, really well. He knows how to play with character motivations really, really well as well. Especially with the like I don't know, I just love seeing the new hybrids. The new hybrids are just it's fantastic.
So I don't know if you
That
guys.
is
Yeah.
so interesting.
So
'Cause what is it?
Oh, sorry, Nick. You go. Oh, no.
Well, what is it? It's funny just because from what we talked about last podcast, at least I don't know if Max 1 agrees with this still, but I found part 2 to be like what is it? I shouldn't say lackluster, but I was just underwhelmed personally.
Yeah.
Just like we take completely different perspectives. Pruden, I'll let you talk.
Well,
Max
like
1.
my thing is, I think the reason why Nick we're thinking it's lackluster, it's completely different from part 1, and it could be when I read Chainsaw Man, I'd read it after part 1. I completely finished, so that could have come into account that I didn't have to wait every week for a new chapter, and not wait bi-weekly, whatever. But I think I'm leaning towards what Max is saying about a new perspective. I'm kind of liking it, but I would have loved to see more of Denji for the start. Maybe see maybe at the start just for a second, see more how his home life has changed. Since we've already kind of seen it since like Aki and Power and all the Devil Hunters. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. It seems like that's what we're trying to go to with how this chapter kind of went, the direction it went. But like me and Nick say it every week, Max, it's Fujimoto. You can't predict what he's gonna do next. Like we had these theories, nothing was right. We've never been right with Chainsaw Man each week.
Oh yeah, of course not.
Yeah. I think what is it? I think that I just also overhyped myself on the first chapter of part 2 because like it was so good. Like just reading it, you just get more and more hyped at every part of it. Like, like especially like seeing Bucky and everything get fucking destroyed, just get destroyed on the ground, and then what is it? Crap, what was the other stuff? Just seeing the War Devil go into full action, like the explosion, like full spread and everything. Like that part was so fun, and because like what is it? I think Pruden does explain that pretty well. Like the whole Devil Hunter arc, like part 1, it just has so much action and it has such a different vibe compared to this one.
Yep.
And so I was just going in with more of that, especially seeing all that action and all this cool stuff kicking in. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I can definitely understand that. There's that momentum that Fujimoto was creating and building definitely got killed off in the introduction with Asa and the War Devil. I mean, it slows down to a halt, and we get a more simplistic story, in my opinion, of a bully. And like you said, it's just so contrasted by the stuff that we've seen in the first arc. It's just so different. But I mean, the nice thing about the latest chapter, in my opinion, is that we're actually starting to see that come together now, especially with Yuko and her hybrid with the tentacle devil. I can't remember if that's the actual name of
It's
it.
the Justice.
I don't.
The Justice Devil?
Justice
Or,
Devil,
like,
that's
she
it.
made a pact with the Justice Devil, but she's not a hybrid.
Right. It's some extra new weird thing. I don't know. I
Yeah.
could never understand it.
Some
But
form of like a curse is my best way to think about it.
yeah, that's actually probably I mean, fingers crossed you're right about
Probably
that
a part of her,
prediction.
probably honestly a part of her contract. Like if she can like I'll kill all the devils, but in return I'll become part devil myself or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. But additionally, it just with the latest chapter, I just love how Denji and Asa are they've finally met up. There's finally a point where we're gonna see more conflict and see how these two have a dynamic. Like I'm kind of fingers crossed. I'm hoping to see another Dance Dance Revolution situation. I just think that'd be hilarious. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. I love the panel where Denji is holding Yuko's head. That at the end of the previous chapter. Hold on. I'm making sure. Hold on.
Well, you don't
Oh
see
no.
it.
He's holding his daughter. Sorry, he's holding
her head's
her
off
body.
to the side.
That's it. Yeah, I knew I got that confused. It's just, I don't know. The dynamic, the perspective of the panel is just fantastic. I love that so much.
All right.
I'm so confused on what you're talking. Are you talking about last chapter?
Yeah, sorry, 111.
So okay, well this brings me on to another thing. Do you think that is Denji?
Oh, are there theories that suggest that that he's not?
Well,
note,
he's
yeah.
sleeping. He's sleeping.
Yeah,
in
they
a panel
show there's a panel of
beforehand.
him with like the little girl.
And like there's that other person that's just like, here's your answer, which is
Yeah.
like probably the conclusion of like the person that actually killed Yuko. Like it's the other person with the other what is it? With the other starter to the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like remember when
Oh, yeah.
the
I
word-
thought. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought that guy was like he put something on his chest to mimic that he was Chainsaw Man, not actually that he was. That's interesting.
The theory I saw was that is not the Chainsaw Devil. That's the Chainsaw Man Devil. Because people think that like Denji when he's in Chainsaw Man like eat people and stuff, and it looks like that. I'm doing air quotes, but like that Chainsaw Man eats people, does all the stuff that they think Denji does as Chainsaw Man, but he doesn't. 'Cause, Denji's trying to be a superhero. So that's the theory I saw. I had a friend. I don't know if he sent me as a joke, but he sent me the panel of like the ripcord and that guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's the weed whacker devil," and I'm like, maybe, probably not.
Maybe.
That's hilarious.
It'd be
And I
funny
would
if it
love
was.
to
It would be
see that.
such a Fujimoto thing to do.
The lawnmower devil.
Oh, yeah. Like something like that would be like totally up Fujimoto's alley, and he would do something so cool with it. But I'm like,
Oh yeah.
what most of the fandom I've seen is saying, they're saying it's the Chainsaw Man devil. So
That
the
makes
fear,
sense.
the fear of Chainsaw Man. But I'm like, Nick had an interesting one we had talked about. Or I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast.
I don't know if we did. I honestly don't. Can you talk about what I said? Because I feel like I don't remember what I said.
So you were
'Cause my
saying,
brain keeps on
oh,
changing.
it could be when Chainsaw Man gets launched into space when he's with like the forearms and stuff. He like rips his heart out and throws it back. It could be that Chainsaw Man coming back to Earth. Maybe is what I think.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, what you had said.
Yeah, that's what I said initially, and I'm gonna redact that because I
Oh, yeah.
don't think that that's very possible. What
Yeah,
I
because
oh, sorry.
no, just really fast. From what I remember, I thought that the Chainsaw Man in space was Denji, who then returned and then was the one who quote unquote killed Makima.
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what is it? I think that was still Puchita the entire time. Just like Puchita's baller like that, and he thought, you know what? If I'm gonna be launched into space, I can just regenerate from my heart. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
rip my heart out and throw it back down.
Mm.
Because Puchita,
Ah, okay.
because Puchita's trying to just fulfill Denji's dreams, and like one of them ends up going on a date with a girl and having her do Dance Dance Revolution while he watches.
Yep.
But if anything, what I currently think is that this ripoff Chainsaw Man is probably just another student that made another contract. I feel like this is another Yuko situation where they made an illegal contract with the devil in order to get what they want, which is just like probably like a mimicry devil or something. Just like give me power similar to like Chainsaw Man. Like I don't know.
So
That'd
are
be
you thinking
interesting.
it's like the same? You think that student that has the ripcord? Are you thinking that's the same one that we see at the end of the chapter though?
Yes.
Okay.
With how much he brags about like, yeah, I kill devils.
Mhm.
Like please come to our what is it, to the Devil Hunter club. Like I feel like he was just like patrolling in the morning and then saw Yuko up there and like, you know what? My man, this is my opportunity. So yeah.
That's a good. I like that.
I like that too.
Cause yeah,
guess-
I've started writing down notes in a notebook for each episode, and the only thing I have is my little theory about Chainsaw Man. That's it. Also, I love that like Denji is still like scamming people out of money, but
Yep.
he's not just doing it for himself anymore. It's kind of like, oh, you know, it's like.
Listen, he was
yeah.
never just doing it for himself. You hear me? Puchita ate that bread too.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think he has like a bigger reason to start scamming.
Oh yeah. Well, like it's either that or see another Makima
Right.
Yeah.
get formed.
Yeah. So I'm like, we got plenty that could happen potentially with that.
I think that's why Fujimoto left her in there like as just the power devil, because that's just a perfect thing from a storytelling perspective. That's just perfect to lead off with.
Oh yeah, leaving her there.
I'm sure that, what is it? You could see something cool, like what is it? So like Asa turns Denji into a chainsaw, and then like Naruto comes out and just like control devils her. Just it just becomes a fight between those two, and Denji's just in the middle.
That I'd like to see that.
That would be really
That'd
cool.
be really fun.
Yeah, no, dude. There's like, Fujimoto is so good each chapter with making like a cliffhanger ending. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's so. it's such a good ability, but it's so frustrating because I'm like, then not like when we're talking about it, we can't predict what's gonna happen next. We can't predict it. But you know,
I think that comes from his background with just absolutely loving movies, and I think to an extent he loves TV as well.
oh, here comes the film major. No, just kidding.
Just say, hey. I mean, that is the reason why I'm bringing this up. Yes, I am a film major.
No, I'm joking.
No, you're
No,
good.
no, it is a good thing to bring up. I'll let you keep talking.
Yeah, no, I have a feeling he wrote Chainsaw Man intentionally with those cliffhangers in mind. One, because it's a good business perspective in general, keeps people hooked, but also because he knows that in the television world, that's incredibly important for keeping people hooked on the show. He was really, again, it's stupid. It's almost stupid of me to say that was a good decision, but I want to underline that because I know there are a lot of other pieces of media that don't do that, and because of that end up making it so you don't really have a reason to continue watching. You don't have this want to know what's next. Like part 6 of JoJo, they just didn't do it well enough for me to want to continue watching. I haven't even started watching the second set of episodes that were released. Like I have no motivation to watch it because of that reason.
I think that's also a marketing failure just in general.
Yeah.
Like that kind of got shadow dropped, and I don't think that you're the only person in the like outer anime community and then also the JoJo community that didn't follow up on that.
Mhm.
Like I don't know about you, Pruden, but I still haven't touched it. I touched the first episode and it was so boring to me that I just didn't continue on with it.
I'm gonna be real. I
And
forgot about it till Max just mentioned it. So I'm like,
Like
wait,
I'm
what?
excited.
Just part 6, part 2? Like, oh yeah, that came out.
We have another month until the whole part 6 is finished.
I know, that's my thing. I'm like, I might just wait till it's all finished and then just binge
That's
it
what
all.
I'm doing.
Yeah. Cause that's
sorry.
why I like JoJo's is when I watched it, up to part 5 was completely done. So JoJo's is such a good show to binge. Like
Yes.
binge watch. Like binging it works so much well for like the villain of the monster villain of the week kind of format that a lot of the parts fall into, which I do like, but that's a whole nother thing. But
This is going back to like this is like going really far back to us talking about between like Chainsaw Man part 1 and part 2. I think another big thing that so like I feel like Fujimoto is very much just treating this as like, of course it's a continuation of Chainsaw Man, but it's a completely different story and he's treating it like a completely different manga. And so then with that you kind of like, I would say it's mostly like a trope of most shonens to start off with something really exciting for the first chapter. Like he did the same thing with part 1, and then you find the same stuff happening in like any other big shonen that you read in Shonen Jump. Like it starts off with a bang, and then you just and it keeps you engaged. Like it's that whole television thing. Like it keeps you engaged, and you want to follow on to it. But if you're a continuing reader, you just think like, oh crap, there's a really cool part. Where's the rest of it? I'm confused. Because some people aren't treating it as like a separate thing.
Yep.
Anyways, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
No, yeah. People definitely. I really wish people would understand what kind of a reset this is for the story, and I think it's genius that Fujimoto's doing that. Again, like I
Right.
said earlier, it's going to
Busting
keep.
my balls.
Yeah, it's gonna keep the manga going.
Because also people keep I mean, this happens with a lot of forms of media. People make suggestions to authors, to directors, whatever, and I'm like, people gotta realize it's their story. They're gonna do whatever they want with it. Like,
Yep.
you don't just do it. Like, I'm a big Star Wars fan. You saw what happens when they just tried to make the Star Wars fans happy, and it backfired completely. Like, you can't only listen to fans. You can't be like, because everyone's probably out there saying, oh, I want Power to come back. Oh, find the new Blood Devil. Whatever. You can't. Fujimoto's gonna do it. Yeah, it might take a bit. It's gonna take a second for him to, like, kind of. He's gotta iron out some things with this new part. You know, as Max said, it's a continuation, but it's its own, almost separate story in Chainsaw Man. He's gotta iron some stuff out. I think also it seems like Fujimoto wants to do a little bit in part 1. He wants to do some more world building. Kind of what it feels like to me as well. So that's what I feel like the intro part of a lot of part 2 has been, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I could be completely wrong, and we could get, you know, Power coming back, or the Blood Devil coming back next chapter. I don't know. He's unpredictable.
They could just show up in the middle of their date and just fuck shit up.
Denji dies next chapter. Like,
Denji just
have
dies,
no
that's
idea.
it.
Like,
Bro, what
no
if
idea
that
what we'll
is the power? What if that is the Blood Devil? The fucking the one that's just like, I know that it wouldn't make any fucking sense, but the one that's a part of the Devil Hunters Club, the one that helped out Yuko.
Oh yeah.
And Wasa.
the
Then
one with
just be
white
a-
hair?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one with the earrings,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
which also looked like
They look like ripcords, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh.
she could be in a contract with him. Now that I'm thinking about this, he's probably just like the big villain for this whole like first set arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, there's a lot. The timeline, the theories branch out. There's not, like, you know, JJK right now. I don't think we don't need a transition, but it's like back to the thing about part 2. It's unpredictable. You know, I mean, it could just also be with how far along other series are that they're kind of predictable where it's gonna go in the next few chapters. But there's I don't know what to say. It's so, I don't know.
There's too many possibilities.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any?
You know what I
Yeah.
just?
Oh, you go, Nick.
Do you know what I just remembered? What is it? Do we want to finish off on anything? Do we?
I
have
was about to
anything
like say like, hey, does anyone have any closing thoughts? But
else?
I'm
what is
good.
it? Did we mention that we weren't going to talk about My Hero today?
oh,
Because we forgot. We're not going to cover it because Max 2 isn't caught up on it. I mean, he doesn't even read it, but that was just
Yeah.
like the one thing that I completely forgot that we glossed over.
the fan. We're gonna
but-
drop an audience because they love when we talk about My Hero.
Yeah,
uh,
this is going to be our worst performing podcast.
but yeah, I'm like, we'll talk about My Hero eventually.
Yeah. They're going on another hiatus next week, so we're gonna cover their chapter. Yeah, we're gonna cover their chapter in next week's podcast.
Yeah,
But
we'll figure out. Our 2 My Hero fans can get their fill. You can stop being keyboard warriors. All right. Do you guys have any closing thoughts with Chainsaw Man? Where it's going? Anything?
Yeah.
I'm just excited, that's all.
Yeah. I will say, we will get an episode once the Chainsaw Man anime finishes of like a group discussion with like 2 other people eventually, and that will probably be, you know, separate from the normal podcast, kind of like what we did last week where we took a clip, but we might just upload an entirely new video. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On to the breadwinner.
The breadwinner.
The breadwinner. Oh my god, dude! This chapter was so good.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring this into another question. Max 2, why do you like JJK?
Okay. So, JJK, in my opinion, has a very similar issue to Demon Slayer in the sense that the story is bland. However, that was only the case before Shibuya. Now with these latest chapters, in my opinion, we're finally seeing we're the ball of the story is finally rolling at an adequate pace to keep me entertained, to keep me engaged with the story. The constant new interactions with new types of jujitsu, and just new characters that we saw a while ago that are being reintroduced again, and now we get to see them duke it out. It's just, it gets me so hyped. It's this problem that I have that I've recognized, where manga and anime just the fights are just so good. The action is tense, it's palpable, the punches feel real. There's the way it's drawn, you see the repercussions of the actions that the characters make in each fight. Especially when Nanamine, rest in peace, Daddy, love you. When he got murked, you saw the physical toll it took on him. It's painful, and that's why I love JJK so much, and also why I'm loving these new chapters, because we're finally getting into the meat of everything that's being set up, or that has been set up throughout the entire story, and I'm hyped fingers crossed that this all gets animated, because as soon as this all gets animated, all the people who don't read the manga are gonna eat their fucking words.
I know.
That's a big thing that I see.
I just had
people are like, I'm gonna wait till it's animated.
I had a friend that was in the boat. He's like, oh, I'm gonna wait till it's animated. But no, he wasn't like that exact. He was like, I'm only gonna read the manga as it comes out in English, volumes. I get 40 texts from him today saying he binged from the 17, so the very beginning of the Culling games, to where we're at now. Damn. I get a text from him. I'm like, let's go. More people are reading Peak. There's a reason. I wanted to mention it. There's a reason why so far this year it has been the top selling manga of 2022.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, last year it was 2. One Piece is only in 3rd place. I think those numbers need to be bumped up to 25th at least. But
I heard that it was in 4th this year.
4th. Here, let me go through the rankings. JJK number 1. Honestly, this one's surprising. Tokyo Revengers number 2.
Oh. It got a lot of hype, and also the manga just ended this year.
Well, here's my thing. It's I watched it and I'm like, dude, it just was the same thing. You just went back in time to prevent something. Same format. One Piece is 3rd. And then it goes Spy Family, Demon Slayer.
Oh my god.
Something else.
Demon Slayer's in 5th. It's been gone for 4 years.
It's still that high up, which is insane. I think it also just because of the hype of season 2 coming out too.
Yeah.
Of people reading watching the Entertainment District, and they're like, oh, what comes next? Because that's what happened. I had 2 cousins that really liked the Entertainment District, and they're like, wait, you have all of the series? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, can we read it? So I think we are getting a lot more of it. And then I know Spy Family jumped because of the well-received adaptation that came out this year. So.
Yep.
But oh my gosh, yeah, dude. We'll have to make an entire episode, this entire section later on, closer to Christmas about, or the beginning of the new year, about when it is posted, about what the top selling stuff is. But there's a reason JJK is number 1 right now, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. Boom! Exactly. Transition. We open up with Choso getting thrown out of the barrier. Boom! I'm gonna channel my inner Broken Ronin like he deserves. No, just kidding.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I like Choso, but there's no way he could go toe to toe with the 2 special.
Oh yeah. No, I'm happy that he's out of there. He is safe. He is safe for another day to beat Miwa.
Oh, I'm gonna clip that and put that on Twitter and
No.
Yeah, we're gonna start beef with the honored ones. Yeah.
But Choso is better than Miwa. Anyways, pretty damn good.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
So
The art. Can I talk about how good the art was this chapter?
Oh my god. It's fantastic.
dude.
The
So-
big ass elephant, and then seeing him get obliterated
Just
2
instantly.
pages later.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was so good this week. Oh,
Yep.
like I just want to say also, like, let me find the exact one. I was thinking would be like the cover art of it. Where was it? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking through right now, Mac. All right, keep talking. You guys talk.
Yeah, next
I'm
two.
ti-
Next two.
I'm going. Okay, I'll echo that sentiment towards the art. Specifically, I guess I'll cite my sources. Page 9. I'm using the Shonen Jump app just in case. It's the panel. It's the 2 panels specifically where Tsukumo or Yuki, whichever name you wish to use, just fucking knocks. She just knocks that motherfucker on the ground, and then literally like what? 2 pages later, that little goofy fuck is just sitting there with both of his hands just off. They're just off, and it's like, that was good.
But we're bringing we were all tired. Not
Any
anymore.
better.
We just needed to
I
go
couldn't put it
JJK.
any better myself. I also love how brutal the art was this chapter. Seeing her punch straight through the arm to his face, just seeing it rip off, and just like her explaining like it's mass. Get fucking decked, dude. You're gone. He punched him so hard he left the barrier.
Literally.
Dude, okay, so like my thing is there's like if I like the brutality of this fight brings me back to the Yuji and Choso fight in Shibuya.
Oh yeah.
Because like
yeah.
even though there hasn't been a ton of hand-to-hand combat yet, that's what like this reminds me of so far. Even though it's just Yuki just sending Kenjaku into like next week. Like, oh my god. This is such a good chapter, dude. Like,
oh my god, and this. Sorry.
No,
No,
you're
keep
good.
going. Keep
like
going.
my thing was like Yuki's curse technique. No one knew what it would be. No one would believe it was this powerful. I'm like, okay, like this is not like Max. We've talked to like me and Nick. We've like started going in the mindset of like Kenjaku's version of a special grade, and then kind of like the regular version of a special grade. Like Yuki's technique does not seem like a Kenjaku special grade per se, but like in theory, but it's in my opinion it totally is. Like in theory, I think she could conquer an entire country with this. But like is such a like Gege is so good at coming up with these techniques. Like this idea of just putting mass into something is so cool. And I don't really think I've ever seen anything like it. We talked about it before we were recording. Like Nick was saying, it reminded him of like the Stars and Stripe fight. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Nick.
Yeah. Well, what is it? It's just her effective. Like she applies her curse technique to 2 objects at a time, which just reminds me of Stars and Stripes, and one of them is constantly always her.
Mhm.
That's like the only thing that I got from it. Also, just because like it's a badass woman just destroying the main villain.
Yep.
Oh my god, the Garuda, the curse spirit that she can turn into a weapon. I can't, like, as you're talking about Max 2 with like how you can feel the impact of like manga and anime, seeing her kick the ball, you can just feel it. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, because there's even that panel of Kenjaku. Just like he's got like one eye like slitted basically, and then another open. Like what the? What just happened? My elephant man that I used to conquer the White House is gone. Like okay. So I just want to say like on Sunday I went to where Nick works because like we had talked like I go, before we would record the podcast ever, like, I would go and just talk to the new chapter with Nick. I mentioned that part about the White House, Nick, and some dude at one of the check stands looked at me and gave me like a side eye, like, what did he just say? Like, conquered the White House? And I'm like, never would, like,
conspiracy theorist.
Like, we would never have thought, like, when I first started JJK, like the anime when it came out a few years ago, I would never have thought that it would become of like almost like this global scale of like what's going on in the series.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God, dudes.
I go ahead, Nick.
No. Max
Yeah.
2, go for it.
Okay. That global concept, I love that they're doing that. I love that they're not just limiting the story to just Yuji. It's not like these choices that the villain is making, these choices that the quote unquote good characters are making have ramifications in the world, and we are seeing them adequately played out in the manga, and it's just fantastic. The story it's like I said earlier, it's just rolling through and becoming this really, really great story, and it just makes me so happy.
Oh, dude.
I agree.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, dude, oh my, I predicted it. I said Kenjaku was using gravity against Choso.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No. Oh my. And then his
I was
domain,
very
oh my gosh. It reminds me of Megumin's, like the look of it coming out.
Yeah, like the tree.
Like, my thing is, like, I'm thinking, like, I don't know if it's going to be a sure hit domain. Like, I don't know if it's going to be, like, the style of Sukuna's and Megumin's, where it kind of just spreads out among the world. It doesn't have a barrier it makes, but I'm like, either way, it's going to be cool. Something, like, also, I like that it has womb in it. Kind of like talking about the death painting wombs, like Choso and all his brothers. Something cool is gonna happen with it next week. Like, we eating good this month.
I think that's Ghetto's domain. I don't even think that this is Kenjaku's actual domain.
Oh,
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I'm
think
pretty
it's
sure
the-
that Nick, that's a great point to bring up. I'm pretty sure that Kenjaku can also assimilate different domain expansions, and that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because imagine if he can use 2 or like 3 of them at once. That's terrifying.
combine like Mahitos and Ghettos. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that would be cool.
Oh, well, that brings me on to another thing that I didn't realize with Uzumaki, as they cover it in this chapter, is that he can't use like Mahito's technique technically, because he could only do that under Uzumaki.
Okay.
Because like, what is it? When Yuki was establishing that it is a gravity technique of some form, that she ruled out that it couldn't have been idle transfiguration. Like, he isn't using idle transfiguration, which I already figured out, so he can only use curse techniques extracted from Uzumaki once.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Like once entirely.
I think so. I mean, it's also, bro, translations are always messy now,
That's a
especially
point I
with
wanna
these
talk-
past
yeah.
two.
That's what I want to talk
past two
about
or three
too.
chapters. I also like how analytical they both are as like special grades. Like when they have that like twin panel of saying like what a pain. Like they both are like crap. We both have tricks in the book. We all got a card up our sleeve. What do we do? So yeah, I think personally, like, sorry.
No, keep going.
Okay. I think personally what's gonna happen is that Kenjaku's gonna pull out Ghetto's domain. Tengen is definitely setting up for a domain expansion himself, or doing something with the barrier. That's gonna cancel out Ghetto's, and then like I have no clue what will happen with this gravity technique, but I think that he's gonna mess with Yuki with it afterwards. He's just like, he's gonna pull out his card first, and they're gonna be messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys think that Kenjaku's gonna actually succeed? Or do you think? Yeah.
Based on how this, like, I think a pretty good chance that he could.
I don't think that Yuki is gonna die. Because like, he kind of has the same, like, what is it? I feel like he kind of treats Choso like he treated Choso of just like, and what is it, Noritoshi? Like, whether you're alive or not doesn't matter in my plan.
Right.
So I feel like after he gets Tengen, after he absorbs Tengen, it's just like, all right, you guys can bug off. I've
Mhm.
won. Like, even like, because like after this fight, I can't possibly think of Yuki winning this anyways, either way. Just because I don't feel like that's how the plot is gonna go. Like, the plot has so far been like, okay, unseal Gojo,
Right.
because like he is the GOAT.
Yep.
And no other special grade can like compete with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So then,
Do you guys?
Oh,
sorry,
you go.
Max. Keep going. You go.
Okay.
You go.
So then there was that big theory I saw that people thought Kenjaku was gonna take over Yuki next. What do you guys think of
Oh,
that
yeah,
going
even-
forward?
Oh.
I can't see that.
You can't see. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
what is it? He needs the not idol transfiguration. He needs curse spirit manipulation. He needs Tengen. Like, it would be really cool to see that happen. Of just like that was a theory that I had a long time ago, even before we started the podcast. Because like, we knew that Yuki was gonna fight Kenjaku. Like, everyone knew it, and I think that it was just gonna build up to like, okay, Yuki has like destroyed Geto's body, but what is it? Kenjaku still flips it over, like flips the situation and takes over her body. That's like what I would love to see, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Mhm.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I was like.
So yeah.
So Nick, I asked you last week your ranking of the special grades. Now that we've seen Yuki's technique so far, how would you rank her now?
I'm gonna get into that for 1 second, but I want to let Max 2 speak on what he was gonna say before.
Oh.
Before we move.
Shit.
If not, I can get into it, and then you can stop me whenever.
Never. I don't even remember. Never mind.
You don't remember? Okay. Currently, so what is it? It goes Gojo, Kenjaku, and then, bro, it's really hard to, what is it, compare Yuta and Yuki so far, but like, it also is definitely just the hype of this chapter, but I feel like Yuki is number 3, because we also don't know all of her cards.
That's true.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll let that Yuta slander slide. I'll let it slide this week.
Listen, I'm trying my best. Also, if we want to count Geto himself separately, I think that it goes Gojo, Kenjaku, then it goes Yuki, then it goes Yuta, then it goes Geto. Geto is now in last place.
Okay. Max,
'Cause,
how would
like-
you rank him? Oh, sorry, you go first.
Well-
Nick, but
Sorry, well, what is it? I just think that, like, even with the domain expansion, I don't think that Geto clearly could have had the potential for a domain expansion from what we're seeing from this chapter. He still wouldn't have done shit. Anyways, that's all. Max 2, go.
No, what about Sukuna?
he's.
Oh yeah, Sukuna. If we want to include Sukuna as well, bro, I'm gonna be honest. He's probably number 1 just because of his domain expansion.
You would put him above Gojo?
Yeah, just because of the fact that like his domain, like we talked about this also before we started the podcast, like 8 months ago. But like when in Shibuya, when they explained Malevolent Shrine, it's like an artist painting on thin air.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the fact that it doesn't require barriers or anything, I think that that's gonna cancel out whatever the hell Gojo does.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all.
My thought is, I'm leaving Sukuna out of the debate until we see a 20-finger Sukuna. Only seen a
That's true.
15.
That's
like,
also very true.
Yeah, like if 15-finger Sukuna, like, could do that with his domain, I'm like, that's gonna be insane for what he could do. But I'm like, I'm gonna leave him out for now. I think honestly, you know, of course, Gojo. When you rank the 4 registered special grades, you're gonna put Gojo on top.
Mhm.
That's my thing. You have to put Gojo. But here's my thing about those 4 special grades. You have, 3 special grades, and then Gojo. A completely different league. I think a 20-finger Sukuna is going to be in that kind of Gojo league. I mean, probably higher than Gojo, but like in his own league. Up there. Like completely different. Like
they are in like Gojo is a special grade, but also Gojo is Gojo.
Yeah.
Right.
I get what you mean with that. Like it's gonna be Gojo and Sukuna at the top, and then it's the special grades. I completely agree with that. Yuki trying to go against a 15-finger Sukuna, and we don't know if she has reverse curse technique either. That's the other thing.
Right.
That could be the
I hope
difference
that
in
she
this
does,
battle.
because it would make this fight a lot cooler.
Yeah, it would.
Because we did find out Kenjaku does have he can use reverse curse technique. So.
Right.
I think that just has to be a standard for special grades.
Yeah.
I would assume it just is, because doesn't that innate ability that's based off of the amount of cursed energy that you have. It's not necessarily something that you learn or have or inherit, right?
It is something that you can technically learn, but I think that you have to be really gifted at it. Because
the really gifted part is being like reverse curse. From what I understand about it, reverse curse techniquing or like that healing yourself seems like it's pretty easy to do. It's healing others,
right?
Because there's a data book where where Shoko's in it, and they mention how special she is by being able to heal others. Like not special grade level whatever, but that it's just that's such like a far off idea of being able to heal others with it. So I think I do like, Max, what you said about that's kind of like what you guys said, like a gold, not like a gold standard, but just a standard for most special grades. They can do reverse curse technique on themselves.
There's also other stuff like what is it? Like Gojo and Geto were both labeled special grades before Gojo learned reverse curse technique, and of course Yuta was labeled special grade before learning reverse curse technique, and like we can also count Yaga. Yaga is also special grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
The higher ups were going to promote him to special grade if he revealed his secrets. So it's like the standard for like I shouldn't even say the average, but like when it comes to battling in terms of special grades, like you need reverse curse technique. I think that that's absolutely like the gold standard.
Yep. It's just it's almost like a badge that they wear, like an extra little thing painted on you.
It's like the gym badges in Pokemon. It's like, oh, before you can be a special grade or go after the Pokemon League, you have to have reverse curse technique and whatever. Gotta have all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, dude, this chapter, oh my gosh. Okay, something before I forget, and this is why I wrote it down. I want to talk about, me and Nick talked about it last time, about mistranslations and my issue with that, okay? It could be from the scans. So, when Yuki says the name of her technique, in the Viz translation, the official translation, it is labeled Star Rage. The scans, I think this is a way cooler name, they label it as the Wrath of the Stars. Way cooler. First two, perfect, because I think Star Rage and Wrath of the Stars is perfect because, it ties back to her being a star plasma vessel. So, perfect. And then I sent it to Nick. I should have sent it to you, Max, today. There was a thing on Instagram about just the fight, basically, the whole chapter. And it was probably a scan, I'm guessing, too. But they translated it to her technique being called Boom Baya. So, I don't know what I'm going with it, but just my issue with translations.
What is it? I'm gonna say that what is it? When it comes to the greater sense, we should believe in the Viz translations because that is the official one. And I do kind of have a gripe with like what was the second one that you said? It was like Wrath of the Stars.
Yeah, Wrath of the Stars.
So my big issue with that is that like I feel like that kind of gives the reader the belief that all the star plasma vessels have that ability when we don't know that. We only know that Yuki has it. Because I mean Yuki is the only one star plasma vessel that we know that was labeled a special grade.
Right.
But yeah, I hate mistranslations and I hate confusion with all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I actually just something to branch out off of Jujutsu Kaisen just really fast. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has this issue with stand names.
Mm,
Like, especially in the anime, when you watch it with subtitles and watching it with the original Japanese, we hear like I can't remember specifically who it is, but in part 5,
Sticky
there's
Fingers
just
and Zipper Man.
yeah, yes, I wasn't thinking about that, but there's another character. It might be in a different part, but just the Japanese name for each ability, I think in this case there must be some kind of playing with words and how kanji and just the Japanese language in general is structured. That play on words is too difficult to translate into English because the two words in Japanese phonetically probably correlate in a way that it just doesn't work when you directly translate it. I actually in a diversity class that I was taking recently, I had a similar issue because I was talking with a bunch of Brazilian students. They were trying to get across this concept where Brazilians see themselves as mutts in terms of what nationality or what region of the world they consider themselves as. Because of their Portuguese influence, they feel as though they are more European than Latinx. And it's really interesting. And I think that has parallels here. That language barrier just prevents us, the English translation, from adequately being able to fully understand the name. Like with that name that you said, Max, what was it again?
The Viz one was Star Rage, and then one of the scans was Wrath of the Stars.
What was the other one that was like Boom something?
Boombaya.
Boombaya. Like that, I have a feeling that difference from it being like Star Rage and Boombaya, like that difference in my mind is telling us that there's some play on words there that just doesn't link up to English.
that's true.
So
It
my
could also be fixed in the volume.
Yeah.
We should also point
I think
out.
that in like 2 years, once we finally get it, we're finally
Yeah,
getting 18 though.
sure.
We're finally getting the Hikari volume in like a few weeks, so I'm happy.
Mhm.
But I guess Max, you are right that like since the Japanese language does not have an alphabet, it's all just characters,
Yep.
and the kanji or whatever for Yuki's technique could mean 40 different things based on how you pronounce it. We'll have to wait to see what Viz says, or in like 5 years when it gets animated.
Yeah.
True.
It makes me want to talk to a Japanese person and like see if that's the case or not. Because I mean, I don't know. Asian languages are so cool in that way.
No, it's very interesting. Sorry, I was just trying to gather my thoughts of what to say next. Yeah. Just Max, my big thing, and I talked about it last week, is translating. One of my favorite quotes my grandpa used to say was, "Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing." Don't half-translate it, translate the whole thing.
Yep.
That goes into other stuff, but about
Oh
anime
yeah,
and
like
manga.
the one that we had last week with like
my
the
God.
yeah.
We're
like,
bringing it up. We're bringing it up. Sorry.
you didn't listen to it, but we talked about so like in the leaks when Yuki comes in, she says like I'm a single I'm an only child, but that was great, big brother in the Viz translation, but in the scans she said Oni-chan.
It's
Um,
fucking
Oh.
cringe, Max. It's cringe to keep the Japanese pronunciation, or like keep that and say it in English to me. That's my thing. I hate stuff like that. Just say
Yeah.
Big Brother. Big Brother. I think Big Brother sounds cool anyways. But
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I think they're trying to play off of that well, whoever translated it is just trying to play off of that familiarity with anime, because I have a feeling that Oni-chan is definitely something that most American viewers, at least in my opinion, are able to latch onto and remember regardless of what they're doing. Like, that's a very distinct word.
Mhm.
So it is cringe. It's objectively cringe.
But yeah.
But yeah, I can understand why they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Doesn't make it any better.
I do have a question for both of you, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Max, so I'm a big Yuta fanboy. He's my favorite character. I love him. As you can see, my avatar photo is him doing his pose. Both of you, Yuta versus Yuki so far. I want to hear your thoughts. Do I need to pull up my my power scaling template for you guys?
I
pull that
guess
up?
if you'd like.
Okay.
If you'd like to, but here I'm just gonna throw this straight out the gate. From what we know right now, and we don't know her trump card. We don't know anything about that. Just currently from her technique, Yuta wins.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'd agree, honestly. Unless if Yuki pulls out some, and she probably will, some like ungodly, just she's essentially just slamming her dick on the counter, you know, like unless if that happens, Yuta is just goated. I think Yuta, it's not the case where it's like the stand the hand where the user's an idiot and the stand is incredibly powerful. It's Yuta is incredibly creative with how he uses his mimicry, and he's able to very, very easily navigate around his opponent's abilities. So, although from what we know now, Yuki can hit hard, Yuta would find some way to maneuver around that for sure.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's what that. I'm gonna give you a clap.
Listen, this could also change on a chapter by chapter
Yeah,
basis.
exactly.
We don't know what's gonna happen, because also if we know what our domain expansion is next week, which I don't think we're gonna get. I could be wrong, but I feel like Tengen's gonna pull it out first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big thing is that like if we're gonna think about this, like, okay, dead on, like they both see each other and they both understand the gravity that is the situation, because they're both special grades and they both know that they're special grades. The best thing that Yuki can do is just make Garuda, she doesn't even need to turn him into a weapon, just make him hit hard as fuck, as well as herself, and then it's gonna be a tie between like beating the shit out of Rika and Yuta, but then Yuta is just like curse speech.
Because my
just
thing
like,
with
yeah.
Yuta is he's very smart in a fight, but a lot of the fights, you know, especially his Sendai colony fight, he's really good at spamming his abilities.
Yes.
Just over and over. So that's my thing. I think he can outspam. Something I did, I forgot to write down in my notes, but I didn't want to say. Did you guys see? We had joked. Me and Nick I had joked about it last week about, oh, that's why Yuki said to hold on because she needed to change outfits. The outfit she's wearing on like her neck has the jujitsu button. So I'm thinking that's what she's wearing is supposed to be her jujitsu outfit. Her
that's so interesting.
which the tech wear pants look so cool, dude.
Oh,
Like her
I want those pants.
I love the boots, dude.
So
It's a great fit.
It is.
One more thing about the power scaling between you two. We briefly went over other stuff. In my power scale template, the most important category on there is the final one, and that is drip. Who do you think has more drip between the two?
Okay.
Between who?
Yuki and Yuki. Or yeah, Yuta and Yuki.
Well, Yuki just has a lot more of an interesting fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say that she wins in the drip category, just because it's something different. Like Yuta should have probably just changed his outfit a little bit more in between, like JJK 0 and now, and then I'd probably also call that pretty drippy.
I'd say that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
We've
No,
also
Um,
seen Yuki with more outfits.
yeah. No, it's the
Right.
pants alone in the most recent chapter that I hate to say it, that make Yuki win the drip category.
I have to agree.
God.
You just fit is fire though.
I love it. I
Like
love it.
his shirt slash I guess
Chef's
it's a
shirt.
It's more of a
chef
jacket.
shirt. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Like, God, I want to wear that. Like, that's something that I'd wear. That's not like the high. Okay, listen. I'm a slut for high collars. That high collar, like, and the distance from his neck out to where the collar actually is and where it sits on his shoulders, it frames his head perfectly. And the fact that the sleeves don't go down all the way, like, chef's kiss. Love that. I want to make that.
Oh, I love the belt. Like it just looks like a piece of like fabric tied, and he's got Converse on. Oh my gosh, dude, oh, he looks so good. we're so off topic. I imagine like we go off topic.
No, I love this. This
Yeah.
is like, what is it? I want to keep this going. I wish that we had more questions to ask because I just love exploring this. I love just seeing everything behind this. And like, oh, this fight was so good, dude.
No, dude, there's like one panel in particular I'm looking for. Okay, so it's the page where she kicks Gouda, or did I call Gouda? Whatever the little cursed spirit is, and it's her winding up, and then just the panel of like this rage face on her looks
It
so
was so
cool.
good. It was so good. Like,
Same
you know
thing.
that happened in the blink of an instant. Like, her foot just flew.
It's perfect with the World Cup going on.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah, true stalker.
Yo, put her in.
Maybe
Yo, Bob,
Akutami got some inspiration.
put
from
her in
that.
Blue Lock, dude. Not Asaki.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. That panel would fit really, really well in Blue Lock.
Something like that, yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Blue Lock's another one we need to talk about, Nick. Because I know you
I
and me
need
have been
to
watching
catch up
it.
on it.
I know, I'm like an
I
episode
really
or two
loved
behind.
it.
But yeah, no, dude, this whole chapter, so good. I'm gonna be real. Once we cut out of the Culling games, I was getting bored. Like the Choso Kenjaku fight was cool, but I'm like, this tops it in every way so far. Like, I'm sorry, Nick, this ain't Choso slander. I like Choso, but like this was so much better than anything Choso could have done. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like screw the wing techniques and stuff of his brother. No, this was so much cooler. But like,
For my best reference is that Choso was probably on par with that elephant that got one shot in
Yeah.
terms of like abilities.
Yep.
Like in terms of like in a fight. So it's just really fun to see that like breakaway. Like the special grade fights are always some of the best. Of course, we don't know how this fight is going to finish, but it always has the best amount of hype behind it. Like Yuta fighting the other people, I forgot.
Oryu or whatever her name is, and Ishigori. That one?
Ishigori. That fight also, like Max 2, like I don't know if you were reading it concurrently with it at the same time, but it was so good reading that week to week and just seeing the action. Like seeing special grades fight is just like, it's a treat to see, especially compared to like first grades.
Yep.
I will
Yeah, I
say.
mean,
Like the
Sorry, you guys keep going. You guys keep going. You guys are on a roll.
No,
I don't
no.
want to interrupt it.
the only one that was like somewhat competitive to that was of course like Hikari and Kashimo and Megami and Reggie. Like that fight was so good. It's just because it did that 180 with the domain expansion.
Yep.
So yeah.
And okay, I'm gonna say something. The way domain expansions have been being used in JJK in this way is like at the end of a chapter. I mean, they've always been doing it this way, but just in the way they're using in fights, is so good. And Max, you know, I love Bleach. It reminds me back in Bleach of like Bankais, when they wouldn't use a Bankai or like the Espada, their abilities, they wouldn't use it till like a big moment in the fight. and
Yep.
I love it so much. It's so good because I was getting tired of like it seemed like, you know, it seems like a domain is something that's like really hard to do. It takes forever to learn and stuff, and something you can't just like spam. Cause like my thing was like I love whenever, like, especially in Shibuya, when Megumin uses his domain in the Dagon fight. But like when he just casually goes in, not casually, but just goes in and uses it, cool moment. I love it, but I'm like, dude, domain's supposed to be special. Come on. Like, I thought Nobito was gonna bring out a domain or something. Like, I thought it was gonna be completely different. But I love the way they're using domains. There was the panel also of right after Yuki's like, I might have to beat him into shape. There's the panel of Kenjaku, and in the back you can see, like, out of like reality, the elephant like ripping its way in. Looks so cool. Cause like normally whenever, you know, Kenjaku and Geto just use their technique, it kind of just like appears out of their hand. But I'm like, this was so much cooler. And I hope it's something we get to see more of, like stuff like that coming into existence.
That's something interesting too, because that may hint at something separate that Kenjaku has access to. It makes me wonder if remember the curse spirit that oh crap, why am I forgetting his name? Shit.
Toji?
The guy with no cursed energy.
The one that like the little worm thing Toji had?
Yeah, the worm thing that Toji had. It makes me wonder if Kenjaku assimilated that and like somehow is able to create a pocket dimension. That's something else that could be interesting to see happen in a fight between Kenjaku and, I don't know, I mean, maybe even in this fight, like if he somehow is able to contain a domain expansion by just throwing everyone into a pocket dimension. That would be something that would be interesting.
That us talking about this, it just made me think of what I think is going to happen next chapter, which I think it's going to be another like Toji situation when it comes to like the domain expansions, in the sense of like, I feel like Kenjaku and Tengen are going to have a domain battle while Yuki is in there trying to kill Kenjaku.
Yeah. That would be sick.
I think that's what it's going to turn into, and then it'll probably end off with like, I don't know. I want to also see Yuki's domain expansion or her like expanded technique.
That'd be
so
pretty
cool
sweet.
to see. Yeah, no, because it's like the scale of like what she could do, like a domain involving this mass thing, with like spitballing here, coming up with this on the fly. Okay, Yuki's domain. Hear me out. There's like a scale in it, and then that, like, as it raises and lower, like when the domain first opens, it's even. One side is the enemy, one side is Yuki, and that's how she like gets her one hit. Is like she like increases the mass of the enemy, or and like if the side raises too much, then like she's guaranteed a one. Yeah, it crushes them. Or like something if her size raises too much, like kind of just like going back to Bleach, spiritual pressure just crushes them. Like her mass just increases so much, it just smooshes them or something. Like, it'd be so cool, dude.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh my gosh, dude. No, this chapter has got me thinking. We're doing. Oh my gosh, dude, we have so much to talk. Yeah.
You ain't thinking shit.
We're thinking with portals over here, boys. My business major mind is opening. I'm getting my third eye right now. Thinking
Your
about
third eye
theories.
just open and is blinking, trying to readjust to the light.
Exactly. All right. I think we're kind of just tumbling along. I think this is a good point to kind of start wrapping it up. Do you guys have any other more closing thoughts?
Not really. No, I'm good.
Goated chapter.
Here's my closing thoughts. Max, catch up on My Hero in the next week so we can talk about it. No, just kidding.
Oh God,
no, just kidding.
300 chapters in a week.
Yeah, no, just kidding.
It's more like 50.
Yeah.
I don't know how caught up you are with the anime, but it's pretty close.
Well, in the anime, I watched up until immediately after the shit, what was it called? I'm pretty early on. Sorry. It's just the festival where everyone is fighting the big tournament.
Oh, you're
Oh,
only on
yeah.
like season 2.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm not.
we did get our My Hero content.
Then we can add the tag in the video.
Yes.
No, dude, this is a good week. I think
This is a great week.
we've got a lot of stuff. Definitely have to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
especially with Chainsaw Man coming back, Max. To have you
Yeah,
back on.
exactly.
Yeah, no.
Another
I think
good
I talked
memory.
with Max about it. I think for as long as his winter break is going on, he's gonna keep joining in. If that,
I would love
yeah,
that.
yeah, each week.
Baller.
Yeah, no, dude, we got plenty of content. Because then
Yeah.
we have Max like to call you, the Chainsaw Man Mastermind. It's kind of like Nick was like telling me to read it originally, and like, dude, you have to read it.
Yep.
It's like, but yeah, no, dude. Okay, I think I'm just spitballing. Let's go. Thank you so much. I believe this is what, episode 9?
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 9.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, please direct them to the comments or tweet us on, put a tweet out on Twitter. Anything, just any content you want us to look at ever, anything, just send your questions over. Of course.
We'd love to hear what you think about the chapter.
Exactly. We say it every week. No one comments. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
What people are thinking. So, of course, I'm Max. I've been joined by
Nick.
and
Max too.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
on
thank you so much.
this episode.
Thanks
Alright.
for having me on.
Everyone have a good week. Anyone, I know semesters and stuff are winding down. The school systems.
Oh,
Good
true.
luck with finals
All
coming
the
up.
college boys and girls, good luck with finals. And anyone going through school currently, actually, right now, is probably just doing some finals.
We will have a quote unquote, it's almost December of recording. We will have a quote unquote Christmas episode come out. I think I'll be out of town and I won't be able to record for that, so we'll have to pre-record something. We have a few ideas in mind. Yeah.
Let's save this for.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Everyone have a
Yeah.
good rest of your day
Have
and
a
week.
great week.